Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to talk about two really important vaccines for teenagers. One of them actually prevents cancer, and the other one guards against a disease that's rare but can be absolutely devastating. We're going to break down what you as a parent really need to know.
All right, let's just jump right in. Picture this, because it's a scene pretty much every parent goes through. You're at the doctor's office for that big preteen checkup. Your kid's turning 11, maybe 12, and this isn't just a routine visit. There are some really important decisions on the table.
So, at this particular checkup, health officials, the CDC, they really zero in on two super important vaccines. And these aren't just for now, they're about setting your kid up for a healthy future, way into their adult years. Okay, so what are they? First, there's the human papillomavirus vaccine. You've probably heard of it as HPV. And second, the meningococcal conjugate vaccine, which, it's a mouthful, so we'll call it MenACW. Let's tackle that first one, HPV. Now, most people just call it the HPV vaccine, right? But to really get why it's such a big deal, we have to look at what it's truly for. And honestly, its main purpose is pretty revolutionary.
So what even is HPV? Well, it's a super common virus. And here's the thing. Most of the time, your body fights it off, no problem, no symptoms. But the real danger is when the virus sticks around. A persistent infection can hang out for years, even decades, and that's what can eventually cause 6 different kinds of cancer.
And how well does the vaccine work? Well, this number really says it all. We're talking about 90%. Clinical trials show it's about 90% effective at stopping the cancers that HPV causes. I mean, that is just a massive shield of protection.
So here's the bottom line, and this is so important. Calling it just the HPV vaccine kind of misses the whole point. It's a cancer prevention vaccine. Think about that. Giving your kid this shot when they're 11 or 12 is one of the most direct things you can do to protect them from getting cancer later in life.
And the good news is, for kids this age, the schedule's really simple. It's just 2 shots. You get the first one, and then the second one comes about 6 to 12 months later. Super easy to get it all done before the crazy teen years really kick off. Okay, so the science on this is crystal clear, right? It works, it's safe, but when you look at how parents feel about it, the story gets a whole lot messier. It's actually kind of a puzzle.
Yeah, researchers at the National Cancer Institute found this really weird disconnect. The vaccine has been around for over 15 years, its safety record is rock solid, and yet parental worries are actually going up.
Let's look at the hard data first. These are the actual health reports after the vaccine. Between 2015 and 2018, the number of reported issues, and we're talking non-serious stuff here, actually went down. It dropped from about 43 reports for every 100,000 doses to just 28.
But, and this is the crazy part, in that exact same time frame, the number of parents saying no to the vaccine because of safety concerns, it almost doubled. It went from 13% all the way up to 23%.
So you see the paradox, right? The actual safety data is getting better and better, but parents are getting more and more worried. It just doesn't add up. One expert, Dr. Robin Vanderpool, basically said it's shocking because these two trends are going in completely opposite directions.
And that paradox, that disconnect, is a huge challenge. Okay, so now let's switch gears. Let's fast forward a bit. Your kid is now 16, it's a whole new chapter, and that means we need to talk about a different set of vaccines.
Age 16 is a really important time to check in on vaccinations. Why? Because a lot of teens are about to head into new situations. Think college dorms or maybe the military. Basically, places where a lot of people are living in close quarters, which is, a perfect recipe for germs to spread.
All right, now this part is super important to get right. There are 2 different types of meningitis vaccines, and they are not the same thing. You can't swap one for the other. It's kind of like they're going after different branches of the same family of bacteria. So the MenACW shot covers 4 strains, but the MenB shot, that covers a totally separate one, serogroup B, so getting one doesn't mean you're covered for the other, not at all.
And the CDC's official advice shows this difference pretty clearly. For the MenACW vaccine, they say everyone should get it. That's because those strains are more common. But for the MenB vaccine, it's a little different. They say you may get it. It falls into this category of shared clinical decision-making, which is really just a fancy way of saying, talk to your doctor about it. Decide together if it makes sense for your teen based on their situation.
So you might be thinking, if it's rare, why bother? Well, experts like Dr. Allison Messina at Johns Hopkins have a pretty compelling answer. Even though meningitis B is rare, when it hits, it is incredibly fast and incredibly deadly.
We're talking about someone getting critically ill, sometimes in less than 24 hours. So for those teens who are at high of a risk, like, say, a student living in a dorm, the argument is pretty strong. Getting both vaccines is just about giving them the most complete protection you possibly can.
Whew. Okay, so we've covered a lot here, haven't we? We've gone from a cancer-preventing shot to this strange paradox about trust. So let's boil it all down. What are the big things you need to remember to help protect your teen?
Okay, let's just run through the checklist. Number 1, remember the HPV vaccine is a cancer prevention vaccine. That's its main job. Number 2, that Meningitis vaccine isn't one and done. That booster shot at age 16 is absolutely critical. Number 3, the other meningitis vaccine, Men-B, is a whole separate conversation you should have for older teens, especially if they're heading off to college. And finally, the most important takeaway of all, the best way to figure all this out is to just have a good, honest talk with your doctor. And in the end, all of this really comes down to one big question, doesn't it? It's a question that's at the core of so much of medicine, and really at the core of being a parent. How do we make the best decisions today to protect our kids from the risks they might face way down the road, tomorrow?